Starts a doc from your best body ever. And if you follow this information verbatim to a T as it applies to you, then you too would actually have your best body ever. And that is no BS. So for the next few minutes, what I'm gonna do is to teach you about good fats versus bad fats. Because the vast majority of people assume that all fats are bad. Now, unfortunately, for much malign liquid, fats and oils have actually been lumped together in the minds of most people, and most people think that they're all bad as having the same properties. With the results of people trying to actually avoid all fats and oils for fear of actually adding too much body fat and looking like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Now, I'm here, the doc is here, to tell you that fats have actually gotten a really, really, really bad reputation. Now, there are good fats and there are bad fats. And the difference between the two is substantial and of essential importance. So, I recommend that you watch this video at least 4 times so that you actually can get the true understanding and it be embedded into your subconscious mind. Although, it is better if you watched it at least 10 times. And if you like the video and give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family so they could have this knowledge as well. Now, the missing link is that you need a dose of healthy fats, believe it or not. So, in my last few videos, I actually reveal how after a long period of, being on zero fat dieting for a while, I took my results to a higher level with a small change. And that small change were I ate more fats, believe it or not. But not too much fat. And not just any fats. That's what's important. And as a dietary fat expert once stated, there are fats that heal and there are fats that kill. Now, adding the wrong kind of fats can actually clog your arteries and promote weight gain and wreak havoc in your body. Now, adding the right kind of fats can actually turbocharge your energy, burn more fat, believe it or not, and boost muscle building hormones, improve blood sugar control, and strengthen your joints and enhance your skin tone, believe it or not. Now, with benefits like those, brothers, sisters, ladies, and gents, good fats may sound like some kind of actually wonder drug, and in many respects, the effects are almost drug-like, believe it or not. Now, surprisingly, you can get the same miraculous results simply by eating small amounts of foods or oil-rich and healthy, good fats while reducing and or avoiding unhealthy body fats. Now, that was a particular time that, when many of you picked up your first weight, you was actually flooded with the media pounded messages about fats. All fats are bad, no matter what. There was no distinction was actually made between any types of fats, and the message was actually in black and white. Fats is unhealthy, and fats make you fat, period. That was a message that was actually being sent. So that's when all of these low-fat diets came out. And this actually spawned an entire industry of fat-free foods, such as the frozen dinners, lunch meat, candy, ice cream, yogurt, and nearly any other treat you could think of. They made it fat-free. Now, this was actually the age of the fat-free cookies and non-fat cakes, and almost all of us partook in it. If you was to be honest, these deliciously sweet and seemingly guilt-free goodies. Now, we ate them without fear and believed it was actually healthy, since the label said 0 grams of fat. Now, even though the dietary fat consumption decreased really decreased dramatically over 2 decades that actually followed after all of these infomercials and commercials that the media pushed. A very strange thing actually happened. Waistlines and health problems continue to increase with the decline in people eating fat. Where is this? Why was that? Why was that waistlines and health problems continue to increase? Now, according to U.S. government statistics, the adult obesity rate actually rose from 15% in 1980 to 32% by 2004. And today, 2 out of every 3 adults are overweight or obese. Heart disease and diabetes are still 2 of the biggest killers, and it seems that there is no end in sight to these epidemics. So if we cut down our fat intake so much in the 80s like many people did, and in the 90s like many people did, then why did people continue getting fatter and sicker? Now, part of the answer is the obvious and almost embarrassing. Now, I want you to understand this, folks. Fat-free doesn't mean sugar-free or calorie-free. Now, what happens is that many people cut their fat calories and simply replace them with sugar calories, which was a vast mistake. So even foods that always were fat-free suddenly started, sporting new labels that proudly proclaim, hey, no fat. A good food say fat-free on the label, but it could be 100% sugar. Do you understand that concept? So if you eat too much sugar, it doesn't matter how little dietary fat you eat. You can still gain body fat. You'll probably get sick also. So most people have been conditioned to believe that actually eating fatty foods is the primary cause of health problems such as high cholesterol, heart attacks, and so on and so forth. There's no question. Certain types of foods and certain types of fats are unhealthy. What most people do not realize is that processed carbs and sugars can actually be even more harmful to your health, and always a bit as responsible for common diseases and obesity. So the real culprit is any overload of processed food, not one micronutrient such as fat. So why a non-fat diet is actually not the best way to non-fat body is what I want to articulate to you next. See, in my previous videos, I actually defined a very low fat diet as anything under 10% of total calories. Now on 2,300 calories per day, that's 25 grams or less. Now on 1,600 calories per day, that's only 17 grams of fat per day, folks. So I've actually consulted with clients who I train who were actually proud of eating only 10 to 15 grams of fat per day. Now, a few even boasted with excitement that they were actually eating 0 grams of fat. But ironically, they came to me because they were stuck and they had actually reached a plateau and they could not get leaner. So I taught them not to fear all the fats, to distinguish between the good fats and the bad fats, and to include small amounts of healthy fats in addition to their lean proteins and natural carbs. And then they got the bodies that they desired. So when they started eating the good fats, almost like magic, they had more energy, more strength, and better workouts, and the fat loss started coming again. So fat phobia is still so ingrained into dieting consciousness that most people are actually reluctant to add fat back into their diets. And that's a mistake, folks. You need the good fats like olive oil, walnuts, almonds, and so on and so forth. You must understand that. You must understand that. So fat phobia is still ingrained into the diet consciousness that most people are reluctant to add this fat back into their diet. So to break free from this fear of fat, it helps to understand the reason why cutting it all out may do more harm than good. So the biggest problem is that by trying to eat a non-fat diet, many people inadvertently cut out healthy fats along with the unhealthy ones. So a deficiency is essential fatty acids can actually cause a long list of health issues. I'm going to say that again. A deficiency in essential fatty acids could actually cause a long list of health issues, including skin and hair problems. People wonder where my hair grows so fast. I cut them all off and they're growing back already. I'm getting those healthy fats. My skin is clear. I don't have health problems. It could actually cause joint pain, fatigue, depression, cardiovascular diseases, and reduce your metabolism. It will reduce your metabolic rate. So non-fat diets are also correlative with low testosterone levels. So you need a little bit of fat, folks, even the saturated kinds, to maintain normal anabolic hormone levels. So when you eat pure carbs and no fats, this can actually also aggravate blood sugar problems in those who are susceptible. So develop into metabolic syndrome and eventually lead to type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So eating healthy fat and fiber slows digestion, which actually helps control blood sugar and insulin more effectively. So this makes fats especially important for people who are carb intolerant. So most surprisingly though, too many eating nothing but non-fat high carbs meals can sabotage your fat loss goals by increasing hunger. Now, after eating carbs without fiber or fat, your blood sugar peaks and quickly crashes, leaving you with that shaky, empty, I have to eat now or I'm going to pass out feeling. It's more than an emotional craving for a specific food. It's a physical hunger, and it's too hard to resist. So, cutting out all the fats is not the answer. We need to eat fat. On the other hand, you don't want too much. So with that, I'm going to bring this one to a close, and I trust that you've actually learned something from this video. And if you like the video, take a few seconds and like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. There's much wealth of information on this channel. Until next time, Taj is signing out. Peace and blessings to you all.